So I think one of the exciting next phases for MedWand has been we recently brought in myself as the Chief Operating Officer, and the idea is that we're going to focus on expanding our commercial organization, both domestic and internationally. So that's probably been the most recent change for the organization over the last 3 to 4 months. Bob, from a tech perspective.
Yeah, so the bringing Todd and a much larger sales and marketing organization in is also giving us the opportunity to focus on increasing our tech footprint, the ecosystem itself, new technologies, new interfaces, new partnerships. We are thrilled to be able to finally talk to Apple products, and we're working to get MedWand included into the iOS infrastructure with iPad. It increases our ability to penetrate the healthcare market tremendously. And we keep adding devices and capabilities to the system. So we're just thrilled to keep growing and taking from our FDA clearance a little over a year ago now to commercialization worldwide. So one of the things that we're finding this year, particularly in the last few months, as AI continues to explode across the landscape and proliferate, is that we already collect a very large set of data relative to a patient's vital signs and imaging. And AI has a big role in imaging, and we have a very powerful imager. So we're now able to provide some of these AI engines that are coming online with full data set that they didn't have before, didn't have access before. And we're beginning to see predictive analysis and looking at what a patient's outcome is going to be way before they begin to decline. And this is really important delivery of healthcare. So we're also adding other sensors into our ecosystem. We're discussing partnerships with other third parties so that we can bring even more data to the table and deliver all the way back across the continuum to the provider and the HR systems, a complete look at a patient's health, no matter where they are.
And one of the things I think we recognize is MedWand's a critical component of the ecosystem, but it's only a piece. I think obviously with the data analysis and AI and the additional data available through third-party devices as well as clinicians, there's a larger ecosystem that allows, I think, the optimization of managing patients. It allows as Bob mentioned briefly, it allows the analysis of data, the trending of data, and the ability to recognize any differential in trend for any clinical change of condition. The goal being that if we can alert the providers early on in the process, the earlier we can intervene as a medical environment, typically the more successful that intervention is and the less expensive it is. So the goal is be able to identify and intervene very early in a patient's critical condition.
Yeah, I would add to that so important in delivery of healthcare, but it has to be actionable data. So just tracking the trend is one thing. We can already do that. But now as we start to incorporate AI engines and a broader ecosystem here, that we can now notify people, notify clinicians and providers with actionable data to provide better outcomes that get ahead of a patient's decline. It's really important that we're not just collecting data bits and presenting them to the patient, but we're creating an ecosystem that can provide actionable data in healthcare. One of the big pieces of news from MedWand this year is the inclusion of iOS into our ecosystem. A year ago, when we were here at CES, we had no idea when iOS 17 was going to be released, and now it's out. And we are in full throttle development to include iOS devices, iPads, iPhone 15, anything with a USB-C connector, with full functionality with MedWand this year. And as most people know in healthcare, the iPad's a very, very important device to a lot of providers, and will be seamlessly integrated into all of these Apple devices again before the end of this year. So it's a big increase in our potential footprint.
So the MedWand device is designed to work with really any Android-based tablet or phone. One of the things we've done since last year is we've really focused on enhancing the software so that we are compatible with almost any version of the Android tablet or phone. Last year at this time, we required a much more specific tablet, and today we tried to make it so it's compatible with almost anyone's existing technology. As Bob mentioned, we're also going to be expanding into the iOS platform, which will allow us total coverage from a device perspective.
So beyond MedWand as a device itself, there is the MedWand platform, but the MedWand platform also means that we can extend out from here to other devices. So since last year, we've been adding to the variety of peripherals. We have blood pressure cuffs, weight scales, glucometers. This is a digital spirometer where the data can go directly into the MedWand exam. And our most recent integration was with a 12-lead ECG. So as you can see, the MedWand experience is getting broader and broader and broader and covering more and more verticals.
MedWand is not a single device, and as Stuart explained, it's an entire ecosystem, which means that we are constantly iterating, adding capabilities, adding sensors. One of the things that we come to CES for in particular is to see new technology. And we've seen a lot of it this year. And there's some really exciting things coming that will be in the next generation of MedWand. And we're going to expand its capabilities. We're going to expand its sensor sets. We're going to expand its ability to process and forward data. There's some really cool surprises coming from suppliers that are just leading the way in medical sensor tech. And we're deeply involved with them to be sure that everything that can be available to the general public and to the healthcare provider network is available. So we're constantly iterating on that.
So as we've gone through 2023 and we've approached each of these vertical markets, for example, hospitals and rural clinics and concierge medicine, one of the things that we've discovered is the need for flexibility in how the product is priced. So, for example, hospitals approach it definitively from a capital expenditure point of view. But spending money up front is a disincentive for concierge medicine practitioners to adopt the product. So one of the bits of news coming out January this year is we've rolled out a subscription program, which means that all of the MedWand equipment can be purchased on a per month basis, hardware plus software included. So that dramatically reduces the barrier to entry for the smaller groups to adopt the MedWand technology.
To summarize, what we think is unique about our platform is we offer the most comprehensive exam with the most flexibility of delivery of that data through an electronic health record or to any data housing mechanism that the customer is interested in having that data delivered to. The biggest difference from our perspective is the number of exams and how comprehensive they are.
More sensors, better quality, and easier to share the data with the clinician who needs to see it.